Hello, beautifuls. My name is Quavia, and I'm the creator of emails. I'm joking. Hello, beautifuls. My name is Quavia, and I'm the creator of JuJu Thyme. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And for those of you that have been with me for a while now, I am happy that you are here. In this video, I have a story I want to share with you. This is a story of Brer Alligator and Brer Rabbit. It's a very short tale, but it's a very impactful one that has deep meaning, but also you get a small understanding of like the Afro spiritual, the Black African cultural psyche, and we'll discuss more of that a little bit later, but I'm just excited to share this tale with you, and I'll see you a little bit after, so I hope that you enjoy it.
Back in the day, Brer Alligator had that smooth, pretty skin, made him feel superior to other folk. One day, he dissed Brer Rabbit, and it really don't do to diss the rabbit. So the next day, here come Brer Rabbit looking at his watch and talking about, I'm late, I'm really late. Now, everybody know, you don't ask no rabbit what he late for lest you ready for the looking glass. But Brer Alligator, a curious creature, he say, where to, Brer Rabbit? And the rabbit say, I'm going to meet trouble. Surely you know trouble. Big man in these parts, own all the land. Brer Alligator say, sound like somebody I need to know. Mind if I tag along? The rabbit say, sure, bring the family. So he take the alligator family to that big field down by the riverside and say, y'all wait right here. I'ma go get trouble. Then he go to the other side of the field and he start a great big fire. The alligator family see the flames, but all that pretty red, yellow, and orange packaging dazzle them. And they thinking, my, don't trouble look fine. So they standing there waiting on trouble. And by, that fire got them surrounded and they feel the heat of the flame. And they allow its time to move, and they are right next to the water, But to get to the water, they must go through the fire, So the alligator family, they scoot through the fire and into the water, and they get away. But they get all scorched up, and that's why, to this day, when you see Brer Alligator, he gonna have a wrinkled up skin. And when you see Sister Alligator, she ain't gonna be too far from the water. And if you speak to any of the little alligator chillin' for more than a minute or two, they will tell you, don't go looking for trouble, not unless trouble come looking for you.
Welcome back, beautifuls. Well, that is the tale of Brer Alligator and Brer Rabbit in Don't Go Looking for Trouble. Okay? Now, the main moral of the story is don't look for trouble, right? But there's a lot of like hidden morals and information in this story. One of the hidden morals of the story is don't diss Brer Rabbit. Don't start nothing with the rabbit. Because this is how this whole mess started. Brer Alligator felt too big in himself and he dissed the rabbit. He messed with the rabbit. Now, when it comes to hoodoo and the media's portrayal of hoodoo and the demonization of hoodoo, because it is an offspring of African traditional religions, there is a sense that the media portrays that hoodoo is all baneful magic, and it's what you turn to when you want to use your left hand, right? And this is even portrayed even now in the media. I was recently watching a new TV show about witches. I think it's called Sanctuary. I'll make sure to have the title of the TV show up. But yeah, I was watching this TV show. It's about witches, and they basically live out in the open among normal people, just contributing to society, XYZ. And then in this one scene, like literally the first, like within, oh my gosh, maybe the first 3 minutes of the first episode or something like that, you see that like there's this new couple that moves into town, and the local like witches and the town people, you know, they're having like a little picnic outside or something like this. And they have this very small discussion, which I will basically now put like a small little clip of it.
To meet you all. Coming from out of town, we weren't quite sure what to expect. Pointy hats, voodoo, weirdos. Oh God, no.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So very short clip. But yeah, when I heard this, I saw this, I took offense to it. I actually did a reaction video of the first episode of this TV series on my Patreon. So you can go and look at that if you want. I'm thinking about watching the second episode and doing another reaction video to, you know, the situation there. But anyway, I did take offense to it because there was like this othering, and they took an Afro practice and made it to be othered and feared once again, you know. It's like this view as though there is no depth to these practices. And so yeah, even as I said, this is still continuing today with this of how Afro practices, Afro spiritual practices are portrayed. Now, in other practices that I have observed, in some of the practices, I would say, there is like this rule of three idea. Now, I don't know much about it, so definitely go do your research on it. But basically, it's kind of like this idea that what you cast will come back to you 3 times, kind of vibes, right? However, in Hoodoo, this isn't a concept. This isn't a concept. Hoodoo provided the American African with 2 hands. Our ancestors gave us 2 hands. One to provide for ourselves with, and another hand to protect ourselves with. And because of how Hoodoo was born in the times that it was born in, with multiple injustices done, and multiple injustices that are still being done to this day, you know, Hoodoo just is, right? But it is within the psyche of understanding in Black culture, which is Hoodoo culture, that if you don't start nothing, there won't be nothing, okay? This is ingrained, and a person's character and how they move in the world does matter in Hoodoo. It matters in many African spiritual practices in general. And I remember growing up with like these jokes of how like you can't have a horror movie with Black people in it because as soon as something strange goes down, we are packing our bags and we are out of there, okay? And honestly, more or less, it's true. It is true, more or less, because it is within our unconscious psyche that you don't look for trouble. You don't look for trouble, and you don't start nothing. So perhaps this is why hoodoo, or perhaps this is one of the reasons why hoodoo does not have these rule of three or accountability laws. You know, it doesn't need it. But does that mean that hoodoo is a thing or is a practice that should be demonized because of this? You know, should it be deemed as a practice that you turn to when you want to do baneful magic because supposedly there's no rules? No, absolutely not. It's as though there's like this view that there's only one thing that Afro practices are good for, which then continues this long practice of this othering because of these lack of accountability laws that other practices need to have. As I said, there is accountability in hoodoo and in Afro spiritual practices. African traditional practices are filled, as I said, with accountability and a character development at its root. And hoodoo is not different. There is more to hoodoo than baneful magic and love spells. You know, which is what the media and society and those that truly don't understand it or who don't really have a concept of Black culture doesn't really understand and grasp. And there are many Black practitioners of Afro practices that will more or less tell you that many of the times things of that nature are either not worth the energy and they're not worth the processes that needs to sort of take place and happen to, you know, in order to do that kind of work. But at the same time, nor do we judge if that's the route that needs to be taken. You know, as I said, it just is. Our ancestors gave us two hands for a reason. And hoodoo doesn't need accountability laws because the accountability is ingrained in the Black African psyche. It's ingrained in our character. It's ingrained in our storytelling. And there already is a deep understanding of balance and reciprocity, which tales like Brer Rabbit shows us time and time again. Well, anyway, beautifuls, thank you for being here with me. I hope that you enjoyed the tale, and I hope that it gave you a little food for thought in regards to the other messages that our African ancestors left for us. For just like you, I am but standing in front of the ocean in the cosmos in complete admiration of how much I don't know. And I'm excited that I get to be a student of myself in the world, so that way I can continue to explore what else unfolds. And anyway, thank you again for being here with me, and until the next one, truth and love.